Well, they did. They violated a big part of the agreement we made. If you read that whole statement, I was very nice to them. I helped them because they were in trouble with the stoppage of a massive amount of business.
China has accused Washington of provoking new economic and trade frictions as it responded to U.S. President Donald Trump's claims that Beijing had violated a trade truce agreed by the two nations last month, which paused their blistering trade tariff war.
Well, they did. They violated a big part of the agreement we made. If you read that whole statement, I was very nice to them. I helped them because they were in trouble with the stoppage of a massive amount of business. But I'm sure that I'll speak to President Xi and hopefully we'll work that out. But yeah, it's a violation of the agreement.
China was strictly implementing the consensus of those trade talks, the Chinese Commerce Ministry said in a statement Monday, while blaming the U.S. for taking steps that seriously undermined the deal. Hereafter, U.S. President Trump's claims that Beijing had broken the agreement established in trade talks in Geneva were deemed groundless by Beijing, and the country pledged to take strong action to protect its interests. The Trade Ministry's reply followed Trump's Friday claims that China had violated a bilateral agreement to reduce tariffs. According to the ministry, the U.S. had imposed several discriminatory restrictive measures on China, while Beijing had put into effect and aggressively enforced the Geneva Accord last month. Furthermore, those actions included suspending Chinese student visas, stopping the sale of chip design software to China, and establishing guidelines on export controls for AI chips, as per the government. The U.S. government has unilaterally and repeatedly provoked new economic and trade frictions, exacerbating uncertainty and instability in bilateral economic and trade relations, the ministry stated in a statement. In Geneva in mid-May, Beijing and Washington decided to temporarily suspend triple-digit tariffs for 90 days. Moreover, China pledged to remove trade restrictions that limited its shipments of vital metals required for the development of semiconductors, electronics, and defenses in the United States. Trump also declared Friday that import taxes on aluminum and steel would be doubled to 50%.
We are going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States. Nobody's going to get around that.
China is the biggest manufacturer and exporter of steel in the world, but it only exports a small amount to the U.S. after a 25% tariff that was put in place in 2018 forced the majority of Chinese steel off the market.